All right, this is an interesting one. This is according to Talksport. Turkey Alalshikh has made it clear that he wants to make Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua next, providing Anthony Joshua beats Daniel Dubois on September the 21st. He said he will make an offer for Fury versus Joshua regardless whether Fury wins or loses the Alexander Usyk rematch, and would make the fight an all-time British class. Oh, sorry, would make an all British clash before either man gets a shot at a trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk. I have thought about that, and I have kind of like, I don't want to say speculated that's something Turkey Al Sheikh will do, but it possibly is. If you think about it like this, right? If you look at Tyson Fury, I would imagine that there is people going to be picking him to be Alexander Usyk, sure, but I'd say the majority will be picking him to lose to Alexander Usyk. At which point, then the question is, well, what really do you do? Do you retire, or do you look for one big payday? And I always said the AJ fight will always be there for Tyson Fury. It won't be as big. I mean, if Joshua beats Dubois and Fury loses to Alexander Usyk, I don't think it would be as, now it doesn't say it will be small. It'd be still a very, very big event. I don't think it would be as big if it was Fury versus Joshua undisputed. You know, sort of way. I think if it was that, then we are talking just unbelievable numbers, money, everything. It would be absolutely insane. If Fury is coming off the back of a loss to Alexander Usyk and Joshua beats Dubois, which many people expect he will, myself included, it'd be still a world title fight. It would still be for who is the man in Britain, who is Britain's number one heavyweight of this generation, of this era. And it would also be kind of a way of, both guys would have had, by the time, if Tyson Fury loses to Alexander Usyk, by the time the fight comes around, if an offer is made and if it's accepted, by then both guys would have fought Alexander Usyk twice. It kind of becomes a, who gets one last crack at the final boss. Because that's kind of how it seems with Alexander Usyk. Joshua's tried twice, failed twice. Fury's tried, failed. Will try again. Will he fail? Most likely. At least it gives them one more chance. Because I think that there's no real appetite for a Joshua trilogy. There's no real. I don't think the only people who are desperate for a Joshua Usyk trilogy are the people who think that Francis Ngannou beating him means now all of a sudden you beat Alexander Usyk. They're the only people who are really clamoring for a trilogy. If Fury loses to Alexander Usyk again, let's say he loses in similar fashion or more devastating fashion, there won't really be anybody looking for a trilogy fight. That's not to say they'd still be looking for it if Fury fights Joshua and beats him, right? Or the other way around. But I think it's an easier sell than it would be to just be like, right, Joshua's beating Dubois, let's do Usyk again. And people will be like, oh, we've seen it twice already. Yeah, we don't want to see it again. And vice versa with Tyson Fury. I think with this way, the loser gets one last big payday, and the winner, I doubt that they would have a trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk, because I genuinely think Alexander Usyk is on his way out. I really do. And not in the sense of he's shot to bits or anything like that. It wouldn't shock me if he fights Tyson Fury, wins or loses, and then says, see you later. That's me done. I'll take my big fat paycheck and I will see you in the next life. That sort of way. That's how I think it's going to be with Alexander Usyk. He will sail off into the sunset. And because at the end of the day, for Alexander Usyk, what is keeping him? Undisputed cruiserweight champion, cleared that division out. Undisputed heavyweight champion, that was his goal. Won't have defended the undisputed heavyweight title, but he will have beaten the two main guys in the division in Joshua and Fury. What more does he have to prove? I mean, he's made insane amounts of wealth. Even before he got, in with the Saudis, he was making good money, but he's made insane amounts of money. What more does he need to do? And you could say the same about Fury and Joshua, to be fair. But I think that there'll always be that appetite for Fury Joshua. Turkey Alalshikh knows it. The public know it. And again, if Fury loses to Usyk, it's still a big fight. It'll still easily do Wembley Stadium. It'll still do insane buys on pay-per-view. There's no doubt in my mind, even with a Tyson Fury coming out the back of a loss, that will still happen. So Turkey Al-Sheikh kind of doing a kind of final eliminator for Alexander Usyk for the final boss between Fury and Joshua, providing, Joshua wins and irrespective of what happens with Tyson Fury. So Turkey Al-Sheikh, he's always thinking, he's always planning ahead, which is something that I've always said you shouldn't do in boxing, but he is. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Fury versus Joshua. I always felt that peak for peak, Tyson Fury would beat Anthony Joshua. Peak for peak. Tyson Fury is certainly no longer in his peak. I don't think Anthony Joshua was quite at his athletic best anymore now, but I still think he has way more left in the tank than Fury and enough to beat him at this stage. So I would be making Anthony Joshua firm favourite if they did fight, especially because we don't know how Fury's going to be post the first Usyk fight, because he took a lot of punishment in that fight. And then in the second fight, if he takes even more punishment, I mean, you really could just stick a fork in him then and there. You know, it could be a case of Joshua is just getting a completely washed Tyson Fury. And yeah, you got to beat the man who's in front of you. But, you know, even the Fury who fought Usyk first time probably won't be that guy by the time Joshua meets him. You got to remember that. So take that all into consideration. Let me know your thoughts. Fury versus Usyk. Turki Alalshikh is... Did I say Fury versus Usyk? Fury versus Joshua. Turki Alalshikh still wanting to do that fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Subscribe, of course, you haven't already. Peace.